Hello everyone and welcome back or welcome to the Introspective Diaries. I am Anahasia, and if you're new here, this channel is all about faith, introspection, embodying our higher selves and spirituality. So this video is titled The 4 Types of Friends or People That Spiritually Gifted Women Should Avoid. So I believe that every woman is spiritually gifted. Having the gift of intuition is a spiritual gift, and I think that every woman has this. However, I do believe that there are certain women who have certain purposes or who have greater abilities to tap into other realms or to tap into other gifts at a much more deeper level. And oftentimes, if you are a woman who has been born with this ability, if you are a spiritually gifted woman, and even if you haven't embodied what it means to carry your purpose, even if you haven't embodied what it means to be who God has said you are, you will be subject to a lot of attacks. That's just unfortunate, but it comes with it. You will be subject to a lot of attacks that usually come from other people and, friends. It could be random people you don't even know, romantic partners, etc. This doesn't mean that you cannot have friends, or it doesn't mean that you cannot have a successful romantic relationship. It just means that you have to be very, very discerning, and that you have to ensure that you are using God in the process to discern who should and should not be in your life. So the first kind of person that I would say a spiritually gifted woman should avoid is the copycat. So this is the friend that will subtly copy the things that you do, whether it's how you carry yourself, whether it's traits about you, whether it's even specific kind of things that you use on yourself, or very specific kind of things that are like your signature. And this isn't to mean that, oh, just because you've done something, nobody, like someone else can't do it. We all take inspiration from each other. However, people who have copycat energy or who have a copycat spirit are very, very dangerous, because these are people who want to be you. They want to essentially have your essence, and in the process of trying to achieve this, which they can't, they try to embody or they try to carry themselves in ways that you would, just to see if that is what is gonna finally make them you. And this, it doesn't work like that, because if you're a spiritually gifted woman, you know that it's honestly nothing physical that always pisses people off. It's really just like having God's Holy Spirit within you. That's the thing that really triggers a lot of people. That's the thing that a lot of people cannot understand, why you have a certain kind of energy around you. And this is something that it took me a really long time to realize, but a lot of people have made comments about my energy or have made comments about my presence, and I just thought that, oh, these are just passing comments, but people around you really notice these things about you, even if you don't notice it. So if you are around someone who is copying the things that you do, who is trying to, embody themselves in a way that you do, and that you can tell it's not authentic to them, I would definitely advise you to stay away from that person, because people who have copycat energy or who have a copycat spirit want to be you, and eventually when they realize that their efforts are not really paying off, they might, you don't know how, you don't know how else they might strike. Okay, so there's a certain kind of unpredictability to this that I urge you to be very, very careful of. The second kind of person, which is unfortunately the person that I feel like is one of the most devious of them all, is the person who projects a sense of inferiority onto you. So that friend that thinks that there is something about them that makes them inherently better than you, or that friend that thinks that there is something about them that so you should essentially kind of like worship the ground that they walk on, and they try to make you feel less than in any way that they can. So people like this usually feel your greatness, and people like this really see your potential. They see your potential more than anybody else, and they try to suppress it in very different ways. So I have been friends with people like this before, who will try to project a sense of inferiority onto me. They'll try to make me feel less than. They'll try to really big up themselves and make it seem like, you know, that you know, that they're superior while you're inferior. So that's the kind of energy I'm talking about. And this is something that is very, very dangerous, because if you are a spiritually gifted woman, you need to know that walking in your power and embodying your power is very, very crucial to the work that you will do on this earth. Okay, so embodying who God has said you are is paramount to your purpose. Okay, so when you are actually playing small, when you are being a people pleaser, or when you are hiding your talents and gifts and abilities, you are actually making it easier spiritually for other people to intimidate you, for other people to walk over you, for other people to essentially deceive you and try to trick you out of your spot, which is actually something that they cannot actually do. But by consenting or believing in the things that they're doing, you are by default agreeing with them, and you are thus acting out of character, you're acting out of, you know, the image that God has made you in. So this is actually very, very detrimental to your purpose. It's detrimental for your life, and it's what really causes a lot of how do I say this? It can cause a lot of trauma within your own personal identity. So if you have this kind of person in your life, this kind of friend, partner, whatever it may be in your life, run. Okay, get rid of them. By getting rid of them, I mean remove them from your life immediately. So the third person that I would say spiritually gifted women should avoid is the silent hater. Now this person is actually the most dangerous of them all, because you don't see the hate from this person coming. It's not like they're constantly trying to put you down. In fact, they might actually try to be your cheerleader. They might be that person that's always congratulating you on things. They'll be the person that's like, I'm so proud of you, I love seeing you win. They don't. And you don't see the hate, right? So when this person strikes, they strike hard and they strike fast. Okay, these people are opportunists, because they are just waiting for that chance, that opportunity to do something to you, to harm you, so they can feel better about themselves. And that's one of the most dangerous people. And spotting this friend or person in your life is very hard, because they're usually very patient, they're very calculative, they're very you know, they're just waiting for that perfect opportunity for them. But the thing that you can use to spot this person in your life is energy. You need to make sure that you are not denying your intuition. People who have this energy are usually people who are very dodgy. They have a certain kind of dodgy aura around them. They have a certain kind of energy where you can tell they're trying to hide things, but you don't know what they're trying to hide. If you have anyone in your life and you're kind of just like, this person, I don't really know, like, I'm not really too sure about, you know, what they're up to, or like, I'm not too sure about this person, because this person gives off a bit like dodgy vibes, very secretive. You can tell like there's like nothing behind the eyes kind of vibe. Those are the people that you should be really, really careful of. But also people aren't really good at hiding things, so this person might occasionally try to put you down, so through insults, through dissing, and they do it in a very, very slick way, so that you might even think that it's a joke. Avoid that person, because like I said, these people want to be in your life to monitor you. They want to be a monitoring spirit in your life. They want to be there to see your progress, and not because they love you, but they're obsessed with you in a way that they don't understand. They're fascinated by you, and because of that they want to harm you. I have had experience with this kind of person who went to great lengths to try to suppress me, and you know, these people might use spiritual ways to try to get to you. Avoid. Immediately you spot these kind of people in your life, don't take any prisoners. If you're a spiritually gifted woman, the end advice of this is don't take any prisoners. So the moment you notice that people are acting shady, you you make sure that, you know, you leave the scene, you make sure that they leave your life, okay? Because when you're a spiritually gifted woman, having these people around you is going to keep you in a vicious cycle of not knowing who you are, and of perhaps getting involved in things that you should not be getting involved in, which is, like I said, all of this is very, very detrimental to your purpose. So the fourth kind of person that I would say spiritually gifted women should avoid is apologies, I have a bit of a cough, is the person that is very, very secretive. Now, I am a very private person. I value privacy. However, I'm talking about the kind of person that is secretive. Like, they're always hiding their phone. They're always, you know, trying to make sure that, you know, you don't know. It's not like that you don't know anything about their life, but they're always trying to make sure that they're doing image control. They're doing good PR. And the thing about this kind of person is that they're very inconsistent in their stories. Okay, so if you know someone like this and you have mutuals with them, you might figure out eventually that this person is very inconsistent with their stories, you know, and they like to be very, very secretive. And this is oftentimes because they're usually quite intimidated by you, and they want to project a certain image of themselves to you, and they don't want you to know the real them. I have dealt with this kind of person before, and like I said, they want to project a certain kind of image to you because they know the kind of person you are. They know that there are certain things that you do, there are certain things that you don't do, and they want to make sure that you don't see a part of them that you know you would disapprove of. And this kind of person is a kind of person that you'll find something about that will shock you, and you'll be like, I did not know this person could do something like this. And it's because they're living a double life, because they don't want you to find out about them. So the reason why I made this video is because, like I said, if you are a spiritually gifted woman, the enemy will use people to attack you, and people who will try to attack you will come in different shapes and forms. And like I said, copycat energy, people who are silent haters, people who project inferiority and try to get you into bad habits, and that person who is just very, very secretive. These are people who will drag you down and want access to your energy. They want access to you, not because they love you, but they're just obsessed with your energy, and they're not good for you. If you're a spiritually gifted woman, know that you actually don't really need many people in your life. Being very, very honest, you are someone who radiates abundance. You are someone who embodies abundance, and oftentimes when you actually look at your past friendships and relationships, you might figure out a pattern that you've always been able to pour into people more than they've ever poured into you, that you've been able to actually help people more than they've helped you. Now, of course, relationships are not about transactions. However, when it comes to energy, that's expensive. So you have to pay attention to who you are letting into your life, and you have to understand that if you are someone who is keeping these people in your life because you don't want to rock the boat, or that, you know, you're scared of what's going to happen, know that sooner or later they're probably going to strike, and it's going to harm you in some way, shape or form. So if you are someone who has experienced any of these kind of people and you would like to speak to me, because honestly, being around some of these people, you know, can be very, very traumatic. These are people who want to inflict hurt and pain into your life, who want to strip you out of your identity, and you want to speak about this. Feel free to talk about this with me by booking a session with me. The link will be in the description. Own Your Energy Coaching. Feel free to book a session, and if you've enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. I wish you all peace and blessings.